Hello everybody, welcome to the Master Wing channel. We are hopping right into another fun game of Wingspan. If you are new to the channel, I hope I can earn your subscription. We are all about this game called Wingspan that Elizabeth Hargrave designed, and of course we are back on the Monster Couch digital version with Oceania included. We are loving it and trying to find different ways to win and utilize all these bird cards. I think we're about 350 different cards, give or take, with this expansion included. And looking at my starting hand, y'all, I'm not super excited about it, honestly. There's a kiwi in the tray and a bush tit. But my starting hand is not usually the birds I'm going for. We have, of course, the green woodpecker there that doesn't really mean anything to me. The ash-throated flycatchers, kind of situational. And I really just select Vose Swift because maybe if I'm digging for cards, I can eventually put Vose Swift down in the forest and tuck some extra cards. I think I'll take the one food cost Vose Swift versus the Pygmy Nuthatch. Montague's Harrier, very situational again. So this is a pretty weak starting hand. Keeping 4 food along with the nectar, and we do get to go first. So the question is, I know for sure I want to grab the bush tit, but do I want to spend the nectar for the kiwi? Not 100% certain. That bird bander bonus card I have, of course, with the kiwi white power, you have to discard a bonus card in order to look at 4. So we may ditch this bird bander card, but I don't know if it's worth spending my nectar for the kiwi this early. So I'm thinking I'm just going to grab the bush tit and start digging, because Vose Swift is not the bird I want to lean heavily on. And this is a post-game commentary. I don't remember all the details, so we will be commentating on this as if we were live. But the song sparrow, that's a possibility. I think if I start with the song sparrow, if I'm dealt the song sparrow, I use it, but I don't know if it's worth drawing the song sparrow and especially spending that nectar right now. I'm also a fan of the white-faced heron, so we are going to flop this bush tit down, and hopefully we can grab the kiwi and the heron eventually. My opponent is Hazel Moats today. Not sure if I've played this opponent before. But with Oceania, you're just one card away. That's what I always say. You're just one card away from having a good game. So number one rule is you cannot underestimate your opponent no matter what. Just when you think you're ahead of the game and your opponent gets a 2-bird engine that kills you. So they play the Baltimore Oriole. And here we go. We need to do some serious digging. And although the bush tit can get me eggs, it doesn't get me the extra cards I'm looking for. I go ahead and... do we tuck Vose Swift here? I think we keep Vose Swift, just in case we have to do a hard pivot. It's weird saving for the Vose Swift. I can't remember if I tuck it or not. We do tuck it. All right, so... we held our breath for the Vose Swift, but not for long. And then Abbott's Booby, another good bonus card bird. But right now in round 1, we are looking for those reliable brown powers. It looks like my opponent picks up Abbott's Booby. But then the common Nightingale swooping in. That would go nicely with my wetlands right now. So I could draw cards, gain food, and... lay eggs with the bush tit. I'm thinking, I'm seeing a path here. It looked rough keeping 1 card and 4 food. I'm glad I tucked the Vose Swift. I think if we can stack up on eggs, of course that star nest in the first end around goal, we're pressuring that. I think we put down the Nightingale, and we maybe can get this white-faced heron down as well. And I typically like to save the nectar towards the end of the round. I think the move is to draw cards, do some more nectar, and then play White-Faced Heron. We will see. I think I'm going to start speeding up this footage just for the sake of time. I hope you guys can enjoy the editing still. Just a second. Okay, from here on out, we are speeding up the footage, so you may hear that Wingspan soundtrack get a little faster. My opponent has played the Golden Eagle. So that's a nice wetland power there. And here we go with our digging strategy. And the Nightingale, you know, if we're going to grab food, we're going to grab nectar. And we did give our opponent some nectar as well. So there's the give and take on the sharing there. That's kind of the plus side of Oceania. With the extra nectar you start out with, and then the ease of getting to food in the forest, you can get those more expensive birds down, like the Golden Eagle, Baltimore Oriole, especially those that have the same food cost. So the question is, do we lay eggs here and try to win the end of round, or do we play the White-Faced Heron? And it looks like we put the end of round goal as the second priority. I'd like to get this wetland started, and maybe we can pair it with a fourth or fifth power bird in the wetlands. The White-Faced Heron lets you reset the tray, and you can cash any and all fish on the White-Faced Heron or keep the fish. So I'm liking the White-Faced Heron predator power, and we put our opponent in a tough situation here because we laid 2 eggs, but now I'm forcing my opponent to choose between laying 1 egg to tie the goal or not, and it looks like they elected not to lay that 1 egg, and we did win the end of round goal. Just a tough position for them because the Golden Eagle obviously only had 1 egg space. And they get to go first round 2, and they are passing out cherries with the Baltimore Oriole. It might just be me, but the berries I feel are less common in the bird feeder now, or less, how do I say, more, I don't know, that food cost, because of its dice face with the nectar, you're not grabbing berries that often. Somebody correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I see a bunch of berries, nectars, and of course people are taking the nectars over the berries alone. So getting berries, I'm thinking it may be a little bit more difficult to get that specific food type. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm just now realizing that. So, nothing in the tray. That's awesome. My opponent did a double play, which was kind of cool, with the red wattle bird that lets you gain nectar for birds in your forest under a certain wingspan. And we played a bird we have not played yet in this expansion, is the Lewin's Honey Eater. Did a little bit of a pivot there because I'm not sure if this committed wetlands is going to be the entire game. We play the Honey Eater, and now we can grab 3 food. The Honey Eater, though, does sharing as well. You have to choose 1 other player and share nectar. So I think the Honey Eater, the Lewin's Honey Eater, would be better in like a 4 or 5 player game. But since we're 1v1, we're going to be giving my opponent a lot of food here. We did pick up the Australian Raven, Griffin Vulture. I do like the Griffin Vulture, but in this case, I'm leaning towards the Australian Raven because it has 3 egg spaces, and even though my board doesn't look super intimidating, this may be one of those games where we're just letting the end of round goals kind of dictate where we're going. And obviously with the Griffin Vulture, I can only have 1 set of 3. So we went with the Australian Raven. I don't know if I'm going to have any extra food at the end of the game or not. But, it was a 7-point play. and it gives me more egg space than their scissor-tailed flycatcher. And we go back to back from the Australian Raven to the Griffin Vulture. Looks like we'll try to take advantage of that white-faced heron predator. And we're feeling okay about our game thus far. There's 13 turns left in the game, about to approach round 3. It looks like with that golden eagle, they can still only have one set of 3. So that one egg space is coming back to bite them a little bit, but they probably have more bird points on their board. We're probably neck and neck here, but I haven't found that awesome, repeatable brown power that I can revolve my game around. I think the bush tit was pretty good early on, and then the white-faced heron, I was kind of hopeful. You know, maybe in hindsight, I should just keep drawing cards and trying to see what we get. I know we at least draw cards a few more times here because all we have is the kiwi, and that's just not enough. But it looks like we are going to lay eggs just to get that second end of round goal and just try to maintain a lead here. Their bonus cards could be good. They did play the Abbot's Booby. And Wood Stork and House Sparrow in the tray. I'm finding I'm paying a lot more attention to those teal powers that let you discard extra food. I've said this over and over again, but the Oceania Forest and the excess of food and the ease of getting food, sometimes the house sparrow and the starling and Eurasian collared dove can be utilized and tricky. Your opponent can snag them, and then all of a sudden they've got 10 caches. 10 tucks. So we do some drawing, and we let the house sparrow go. We pick up wood stork, and it looks like another predator. I'm sorry, my game bugged out there just a second. But every predator gets me 1 extra point with this griffin vulture. And so I'm thinking maybe we can... did we get a cache on the white-faced heron? No, we reset the bird feeder and we kept the fish. That's what we did. And we were exiting out of the game, so we didn't cache that fish. I wanted to hang on to it. Maybe I can play this white-faced ibis before the end of this round. The New Holland Honey Eater, I have good memories of that, but we are not going with the Grassland Engine today. It looks like this game is going to be, like I said earlier, dictated more on bonus cards and end-of-round goals. We're kind of hopping all over the place, and we've got, 20 points or so in our hand worth of bird points. So I think my strategy here is just to play birds. And luckily it goes along with that end-of-round goal since all these birds are over 4 points. The question is, which is next? Do we play the kiwi, which would complete the bird bander, or do we play the kiwi and discard the bird bander? So that is an interesting decision that we'll have to decide here coming up. I go ahead with the white-faced ibis first, just in case we draw cards and the slim chance that white-faced ibis could cache a fish. That wasn't really the 4th bird that I really wanted to put there. I was hoping for maybe like a Maine duck or a mute swan or some tucking bird, but you know, this game is more of a matching game. We're just playing big point bombs when we can. And tell me in the comments what you think about sharing. I've really enjoyed reading your comments throughout my channel, whether it's just should have done this or man, I wish they would do this. But am I sharing too much in this game? That's what I wanted to get your opinion on. Oceania and sharing is just, especially with this Nightingale, I'm passing out nectar. Lewin's Honey Eater, I'm passing out nectar. Hold your breath here. It is the North Island Brown Kiwi. And I think the 4-point bonus card, even though I would be completing it, I think it's worth discarding and looking at 4 new cards. Check it out. You get to keep 2 and discard 2. I'm checking out Mechanical Engineer here. Ethologist is a must keep. And instead of Wildlife Gardener, I think Mechanical Engineer is worth the risk. Looks like I've got at least 2 platforms, 2 bowl nests, and I've got 2 star nests, which could serve as my ground nest. So I'm looking at the tray, and I'm thinking the house sparrow and the sapsucker, as weird as that sounds, could be my last 2 cavity nest birds to complete Mechanical Engineer. Yeah, Silver Eye doesn't really help me. I'm gonna go with the cavity. And check it out, the white-faced ibis did get a cache, so that was nice. The white-faced heron did not. And here we are with big nightingale energy. We can't get a nectar because we'll just have to discard it. I think we chose a berry, if I'm not mistaken. Footage is sped up. My opponent did play a double play with the heron and the snowy owl. And I'm not sure we're ahead here, people. I'm not feeling super great. We're doing well on end-around goals, and that kiwi, let's see, it was a 5-point play, but then we got rid of the 4-point bonus card, so that puts it down at 1. But then we get Ethologist with 6 points, so that puts it at a 7-point play. And then Mechanical Engineer eventually, I'm hoping, can be 8. So that kiwi is an eventual 15-point play. I think it was the right decision to get rid of the bird bander bonus card. And my opponent looks like they're doing just a bunch of bonus card plays and big point bombs like us. 5 turns remaining in the game. Looks like we are going to stack up on food here. We get a good reset. And this Lewin's Honey Eater, I'm hoping this sharing is not going to come back to bite me. My opponent is handily winning the forest and the wetland nectar battle. Oh, they also played the Australian magpie. So we'll see how that yellow power works out at the end here. Let's see, my 3 cards left. I need to play these 2 cavity nest birds. So I need 7 food, and I only have 6 food right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So I'm looking at this, and you know, you got to be really careful how you use your nectar. You know, I have a fish and a rat in my supply, but then you're also battling, you know, can you win one of these habitats? So where do you want to spend your nectar, but where do I have to spend my nectar? Because I do not have a worm right now in my supply, and I've got 3 turns left and 3 birds. So I think I've got it worked out in my mind, and I think we'll keep a seed left over at the end to tuck under the house sparrow. We're only sitting at 82 points, people. I'm not sure we're going to pull this off, but I'm hoping with this Mechanical Engineer and maybe this Wood Stork can give me another bonus card to put me over the edge here. We have enough eggs to play these last 2. This has been a weird game. It's just been, I've only got 9 birds on the board. No real engine, but that's how it goes sometimes in Oceania, you know? I want to take this time to again thank those subscribers out there who have supported this channel, whether you're new or old and been since the beginning. I think my 2024 goal is to try to get to 500 subscribers by the end of the year. You know, maybe we can get 25 cents or maybe even $1 off of YouTube. So if you are not subscribed to the channel and you even remotely like this content, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that button for me. The wood stork comes in pretty clutch here. I contemplate visionary leader, but we go with wetland scientist. That was a 4. That was a 7-point play. We will take those. And I think my last play obviously is the sapsucker. Pretty straightforward. And that should complete my mechanical engineer. And we were able to win at least one habitat of the nectar, that grassland. Again, I'm not sure if it was enough. We were all over the place, but we did great on end-around goals. Stick around for the scores here. They did have that magpie. This could be a close one. Let's see. Was the Kiwi the MVP with those bonus cards? 53 to 52 bird points. There's the end-around goals. Check it out. We pull it out 113 to 100. A little higher score than I thought. They had forester, large bird specialist, rodentologist, and enclosure builder. Great game to my opponent. We were all over the place, but the Kiwi and the sharing worked. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time on the Master Wing channel. Peace.